Good morning, Aloha Friday. I hope everyone's had a wonderful week. And boy, we're right into January, the new year, and I'm sure you've been going over your goals in January and where the year's going so far. One of the phrases I saw this week I wanted to share with everybody, because I know we're all thinking of what we want to accomplish this year, and is love the life you live and live the life you love. And another thought to have this is build the life you love. And today we have Jim Schmit, an architect here who's been in Hawaii for over 46 years and has completed over 600 homes and has won many design awards, Hawaii Parade of Homes and the Hawaii Renaissance. And of course we had Jim on last year, but I always find it interesting. He's very busy in the architecture building world as we are in real estate, so there's always updates, I would say, daily. And I just wanted to welcome you, Jim.
Thank you.
Yes, and I thought it'd be really fun. I know people are probably staying at, well, I know COVID, people are at home more, of course, and there's been changes in their lifestyles and living needs. And what have you been receiving many calls with how people want to change their homes during this time? Maybe you can share with us some things.
Yep, there's been a whole lot there. When the virus first hit, I had a few months to go to job sites and watch construction, which luckily was happening right then. So I wasn't too particularly inconvenienced. And then as soon as that first phase was over and we started into the second spike, then everybody sort of took it seriously and said, we better get started if we want to have our houses ready by the time this is over. And I was pretty much flooded with calls at that point.
Oh, wow.
All different kinds of projects.
Or different kinds, because yeah, I know, you know, when the COVID first came out, we were all like, oh, can we still build the house? Can we still work? Right. There was definitely a pause there for a little bit, right?
Yeah, it was a welcome relief, actually, in terms of my job.
And you know what we wanted to talk about today is, you know, I know people have always wanted their dream home, and we sell a lot of homes here at Caron Realty International, and you know, oftentimes it's really hard to find that dream home. And actually, I've had a few clients now go and buy vacant lots so they can build that home. And what I'll do is I will share my screen. Jim's been kind enough to give us some photos that we can look at as we talk about this subject today. And Jim, I'm just going to let you share with us. I've got, you know, let me put this on here. Okay. You know, maybe you can share with us, you know, when somebody's thinking of building or remodeling, has a vision, doesn't have a vision, what are some of the experiences you're getting right now and the designs people want?
Well, there's a wide range. The picture you're showing right now is it's a remodel, actually, of a house that I first met the clients and stood on the roof with a video camera over 8 years ago. We started that, and then they moved around the world for various times and came back every once in a while, and had 3 or 4 false starts along the way. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, they moved back here permanently and were ready to do it. And that house was a 2-story house that's right now below that upper floor. And we basically built this house on top of the old house.
Oh,
and
wow.
then absorbed it into it.
And I see, of course, it's the modern house. Are you still getting a lot of requests for the modern design right now?
It's ever increasing.
Ever increasing.
Yep,
Yeah,
I still get
interesting.
I still get about 10% people who want traditional style houses.
Okay.
But it used to be I got less than 10% that wanted modern houses.
Nice. Yeah, I've actually noticed a few more go up here and there. Let me go to the next photo here, because I know this was a home in Diamond Head, I believe you've built over the last few years.
And that's a little bit more obviously a structural steel home. The other one was also, but this is a little bit more exposed. And this was also a remodel where we were able to leave the bottom 2 floors and then add 2 floors on top with a rooftop deck. That glass on the top is the access to the rooftop deck. And it's been a really fun project every step of the way.
And how long have you been involved in this project?
Oh, quite a few years. The owner moved in over a year ago, or moved in, I should say, took possession of the house. He lives in Japan, but with COVID in Japan, he hasn't been able to be here for much in the last year. So, but we used to have parties there every Saturday night.
Nice. And I know you do a lot of 3D renderings and very, very visual things for people so they can get a
Right.
really good understand on how the house flows, how they would live in the house. Maybe you can comment on this drawing that you had completed.
Sure. This is up in Monoline Heights. We've got a whole lot of work. There's probably more work on Monoline Heights right now than anywhere else in the islands, that for me. And this is one that's going to be starting very soon. And you can see kind of, it has a very steep driveway.
Yeah.
And
Oh, is this the driveway here?
Right, that's the driveway coming down from above,
Oh,
and it's on a
okay.
steep hill. And then because of the fact that the parking and the driveway is so sort of not dangerous, but nervous, you get nervous going up and down it. What we're doing is the owner has a collection of cars that he works on. And so what we're doing is, on top of those black beams, there's going to be a new concrete driveway suspended above that concrete driveway, which will then intersect that ramp quite a far ways up it and reduce the steepness of the ramp. And
Nice.
there's an ADU at the end of it, and the main house in the middle. And again, this house is an existing house. We're again using the bottom 2 floors and adding a 3rd floor on top. So it's sort of a pattern that I see developing, is that there are a lot of houses that have got 1 or 2 stories that are not necessarily what you want them to be, but that are structurally sound. And when you strip them down and encase them with the same materials that the rest of the house is, it might as well be a new house.
Nice. And then, maybe you can talk to us about, here's some renderings, and I know you're an architect that uses I'll say the old-fashioned way of doing beautiful drawings. And I have a friend in Australia who does that too. And it's nice to see there's still architects who can just freelance draw.
Yeah, well, I guess it's a lost talent. I think that there aren't a lot of the younger kids who do as much sketching, which I think is too bad. When I was in school, we had drawing classes that had nothing to do with architecture, just to basically teach us how to draw. And I gained a lot from that. But this particular one they're all concept drawings. And like the bottom 3, the sketch on the left is the original concept, and then the other 2 are 3D renderings of the same thing. And a little sketch of how the driveway comes in there, 1 row up on there. And the other ones are a couple of houses that are being remodeled more modestly, more of a traditional remodel, where you go in and you fix the kitchens and fix the bathrooms and maybe put more windows in the living room.
Maybe on this note, since we're discussing the renderings, someone calls you and say, hey Jim, I believe we'd like to do a remodel or build a home this year. How does the process go through? How do you take them from the moment they want to do something to the whole concept of what you've got down on here?
Well, I meet them at the site, first of all. If it's a raw land, a vacant lot, then the sky's the limit. Then it goes immediately into what type of a home are you looking for, how big, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, that type of basic information. And then because you're on the lot, you can pretty much tell where the view is, and you can tell where the wind comes from. And we know what the cycle of the weather is going to be like over the years, just because I've done so many of them. And most of the view lots are facing southwest, where the sun sets, and that's both beautiful and annoying, as that your house heats up in the late afternoon. So if it's a house, we look at it from the standpoint of how much is salvageable, how much of it can be reused. Sometimes it's most of it, sometimes it's none of it. It's very, very, very rarely none of it. We just demolished a house recently, and it was pretty much none of the house could be saved except for the concrete foundations and the concrete retaining walls. But that probably saved a couple $100,000 on the budget, because we were able to save that concrete work. So it's a wide variety. This is that same house you were looking at from above. You can see the steel frame that holds the third floor up, and the bottom two floors were existing, although they've been clad with new windows and new siding.
Nice, really nice. And this is one of your earlier projects, right?
Yeah, that actually was finished a couple of years ago, but I worked on it for about 18 years.
Wow.
And it's up on Tantalus, and we call it the glass house because it's all steel and glass, and it's nestled in amongst the monkey pod trees, and it's really gorgeous, gorgeous house. It's one of those things where it's sort of like what I did was I made a transparent house so you could see the beauty of the surroundings, which is pretty easy to once the concept was approved.
Nice. And this is one of my favorite photos that I had gone through the other day.
Yeah.
And, of course, these green walls people are putting in now. This is really neat. So is that real plants there?
It's
or
real plants. It's real plants. And I love them. I think this house especially because this house is built above a floodplain. So it's the entire floor that you're looking at there. It looks like it's on grade, but it's actually 6 feet above the grade. So having the green wall is a really nice way to bring the landscaping into otherwise what would be a concrete deck.
Beautiful. And then maybe you can touch on what are the materials. Have they changed over the past couple of years that people like to use now? Like what kind of wood floors, what kind of tile? What are you seeing right now?
I think we're on about a 30-year cycle here. 30 years ago, we did a lot of oak floors, and then it was oak changed to maple, and then maple changed to the various merbaus and teak types of Indonesian floors. And now it's come back to oak again, although now it's engineered floors, and the old big plank look is very popular.
Nice.
So that means probably maple will be coming in next.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maple was around 30 years ago.
Right.
I remember doing a house in Manoa and it was maple. Maple was the thing.
Yeah.
What about this drawing?
Oh, that's the structural steel diagram for the house with the steep driveway.
Wow.
And this is a drawing that a contractor on the mainland does for me. It's a computer program that is very, 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 very sophisticated, and it analyzes the loads on every nut and bolt in this structure. It's an amazing program, and I'm lucky that I have this guy to do it. So it's really nice to be able to come up with a design and then put it into the 3D program and find out that all of the calculations work out the way I expected them to. It's a nice way to do it. It's another living green wall there.
Beautiful.
Now that's a concrete block wall that it's sitting on, whereas the other one that you saw was actually the wall of the house.
Oh, okay. And this is I've noticed this come into homes lately. You want to talk about this? Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that's happening, this house is on a CPR lot, and the driveway is narrow to say the least. And the turnaround space is adequate, but not comfortable. And so by putting a turntable in, you can drive in facing forward. 2 cars can go on that turntable, and then you turn them around and you drive out forward. So it really makes everything very easy, and it's pretty cool too. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. There's the green wall again.
Another green wall, and those palm trees that you saw in that one are on the ground. Of course, that's 6 feet taller than it looks right there.
Yep. And then this house here.
That's on Punchbowl.
Yep.
And I did that house 30 years ago.
Wow.
But when you talked about what's popular now is dark grays. And
okay.
In particular, some of this, it's called sosujiban, which is a burned cedar, and it's developed in Japan, and it's really spread like wildfire. Burned wood as a siding, and this house is cedar, but it's been stained a color that looks like the sosujiban, so it reminds you that it could have been burned cedar, but it's not. It's dyed cedar. But I love it that's a house that was 30 years ago. It was a cedar house, and it was kind of a San Francisco look. And now it's a brand new house, and it looks like it was just designed this year.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So moving forward this year, what are you seeing in the construction and architecture? What are your predictions for 2021 this year?
My predictions is it's going to be a busy year. It's
Yeah.
going to be busy for the construction industry. I love the way the design trends are going. I mean, when I did Bali Lofts about 15 years ago, that was a somewhat of a breakthrough for Hawaii, in the sense that modern houses were not ever popular. It was a very, very, very small niche market that was popular. And that I did 8 houses in a row out in Hawaii Kai, all modern, and it was generated enough interest that I could say that house is why people know who I am. Those houses out in Hawaii Kai. They say, "Oh, didn't you do
Nice.
those houses on the Saddle Road?" I go, "Yeah, those are the ones." That
Great.
was a breakthrough.
Well, I just wanted to thank you for coming today, Jim. And, you know, our time's up a little. Every time we talk to you, there's so much more to talk about. We'll definitely have you on again, you know, during the year to talk about things. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And feel free to reach out to Jim, or, you know, text me and I can give you Jim's details. What I love about you most is you don't just stay with a client for a year or two. You've been around for 20 years for some clients, helping them build their homes out. Yeah, a lot of them. And I've known Jim for 32 years. I used to do closet systems, and I did all your projects. You were very kind to me, the business you gave me. Thank you.
Now it's your turn, and I thank you.
Yes, and let me, now we share Mary Ann's photos. I don't know if you remember from last time, Jim, but she has incredible photography. She takes every week. That's her passion. And she has themed these photos, Build Your Life. And, you know, she puts Diamond Head and outrigger canoeing. And I know when I came to the islands, I got involved in the outrigger canoeing, which I love. And then, of course, hiking. This is a picture she took while she was on the Waianae coast hiking. And, of course, our garden people who just love the beauty, the green. And this is the Hua Mahalulia, Honaluhia gardens out on the windward side. And then the windward coast, of course, all the gorgeous blues that you see off Lanikai Beach and around that coast in Waimanalo. And of course, our colourful sunsets, which we're so famous for. But again, mahalo, have a wonderful weekend. And Jim, thank you. And we will see you soon. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.